the president's career simulation. Hopefully the game does not crash again, because that is exactly what happened the last time that we were here. That's why the video was abruptly ended. This does not, is this? Yes, this is the president's. Okay. Just making sure that I loaded into the right league. So we have the playoffs for this season. The Jazz are eliminated, the Celtics are gone, Grizzlies and the Pacers. So we have Dallas and the Suns. That is none of the presidents on the Mavericks, but Grover is on the Grover is on the Suns. Grover Cleveland. Then the Pelicans have Andrew Johnson, and then the Nuggets have George W. Bush, not HW, but George W. Bush. Doesn't look like any other presidents on this team. John Adams with the Lakers, with Teddy Roosevelt and Calvin Coolidge, and then they're against Chester Arthur and DeJounte Murray on the Spurs. Then the Warriors with Donald Trump and Joe Biden. Sleepy Joe is not as high overall as Donald Trump, but they're on the Warriors. They're going up against the Rockets, and the Rockets have William Taft, Ulysses S. Grant, and Barack Obama. So they have 3 presidents. The Sixers have doesn't look like any presidents. And the Nets have James Madison. The Hornets, they have Abe Lincoln, and James Garfield. And then the Knicks, they have Lyndon Johnson and Benjamin Harrison. And then the Pistons have George H.W. Bush and James Buchanan and Franklin D. Roosevelt, while the Heat have James K. Polk and Franklin Pierce. The Magic have Martin Van Buren and Gerald Ford. I think this is a president. And then the Hawks, they have Woodrow Wilson, and then that is the playoffs right there. So we'll see who gets ring number. It should be ring number 2 of the video, or 3. I'm not entirely sure. So we have the Nuggets versus the Suns, the Lakers versus the Warriors, the Sixers versus the Knicks, and the Pistons against the Hawks. So we'll see who goes to. We'll check back with teams. Conference finals. The Nuggets were 4-0 swept. The Hawks are out. The Knicks are out. And the Warriors are out. So the Lakers with John Adams versus Grover and the Suns, and then the 76ers versus George H.W. Bush. Well, the Lakers 4-0 swept the Suns, and the Pistons are out. So it's John Adams versus the 76ers. John Adams and LeBron James just choked the NBA Finals versus Joel Embiid and Ben Simmons and the 76ers. Player retirements. No, we don't want to overturn Carmelo Anthony, Paul Millsap, Rudy Gay, Dwight. Looks like a bunch of old guys that bench role players. Lloyd Pierce retired. Carmelo and Dwight are in the Hall of Fame. If you think otherwise, you're stupid. Um, we're not going to the NBA draft. We're going to free agency. I believe at this point, all of the presidents in the NBA are in free agency now. Like Thomas Jefferson, Warren G. Harding. Granted, they're all restricted, but at the same time, they could just sign somebody else. Jokic, Trae Young, James Harden, and LeBron with Zion are here. It looks like Jokic has a max contract from the Nuggets with a player option, but he also has one for the Pacers with a player option. And he's also there for one last year. He's also got other offers from the Cavs and the Hawks. Trae Young doesn't have any offers. The Nets want to re-sign James Harden. The Lakers want LeBron back, and so do the Cavs. The Pelicans are offering. I mean, he's restricted, so even if he doesn't take this offer, they could still re-sign him as long as he doesn't sign with the Thunder. But yeah, Zion, Pelicans, and the Thunder. And then Jaws here with the Grizzlies. Zach LaVine doesn't have anything. Clint Capella to the Rockets. Vucevic to the Bulls. Thomas Jefferson's restricted. Let's see if we can find any other presents. They're all restricted. They're all going to get minimum deals and go back to their teams respectively, hopefully at least, so that way we can continue this career simulation of what it would be like if they were in the NBA. Alright, so Donald Trump is still here. He's got a year left on his contract. Let's see what badges he's got. He's got Acrobat, Slithery Finisher, and Teardropper. Catch and shoot, difficult shots, corner, deadeye, and hot zone, downhill and ankle, and rebound chaser. And then Joe Biden, he has 4. He's got acrobat and lob city. That is terrible. He is 5'6" and has lob city finisher. And then he's got off-ball pest and rebound chaser. Doesn't look like anybody else signed here in Golden State, so they just have their regular roster. The Trailblazers have Herbert Hoover. He did well. He has a total of 7 badges. Dion is not a president. We've got nothing there on the Thunder. We have Millard Fillmore, who's got 9 badges. We have John Tyler, who has 5. For the Thunder, or for the Suns, we have Grover, who's now going to start over Chris Paul. And he has 17 badges. We have Chester, who's starting over DeJounte now, who has 12. He has no finishing badges. He's mostly playmaking. We have William Taft, who's going to start over Scoot Henderson. He has 15 badges. And then Ulysses has 5. And Barack Obama has 8. We have Ruther B. Hayes. He was already starting on this team at 16. George H.W. Bush has 21, and he's an 88 overall. James Buchanan has 9, and Franklin Roosevelt has 12. Andrew Johnson has been benched now. He's going to be behind Lonzo. He has 4 badges. Um, Andrew Johnson and Andrew Jackson. That's super similar in names. Anyways, Andrew Jackson has 10 badges, and George Washington has 8. George W. Bush has 5, and he's back up to Jamal Murray. James Madison back up to Kyrie has 9, and Bill Clinton has 6. And as you can see, James Harden is falling off. He's regressing. Um, it doesn't look like the Mavericks signed anyone. Martin Van Buren's here with 18 badges. John Adams with 9. And Teddy Roosevelt with 15. He's considered a slasher. So he's got gold acrobat, gold ankle breaker. So that's good. Lyndon Johnson with 9 and Benjamin Harrison with 5. Dwight Eisenhower with 15, who has gold unpluckable, and he's back up to De'Aaron Fox. Richard Nixon with 10, who has playmaking and defensive. He's starting for the Jazz. We have Abe Lincoln, who has 9. And then we have we have James K. Polk starting now over Victor Oladipo. He has gold acrobat and teardropper, gold difficult shots, and chase down artist. Woodrow Wilson with 9 badges. He's got all silvers, it seems. On the Hawks, the Grizzlies don't have anyone of relevance. James Monroe has 4. Still got bronze badges, but he's starting now for the Clippers because Reggie Jackson sucks and Paul George is regressing. The Celtics do not have a president. William McKinley has 13. He has gold catch and shoot and corner specialist and chase down artist. And that's their starting point guard for the Cavs. Bulls have William H. Harrison and John F. Kennedy. William H. has a bunch of silver and bronze badges, and John F. Kennedy has Hall of Fame sniper. I don't know if I intentionally did this for, well, history purposes, but I'm not sure if I did this or if 2K did this. If 2K did this, that's foul. If I did this, that's also foul, but I don't remember. And then the Bucks. This dude jumped 12 overalls. Jesus Christ. The Bucks don't have anyone, and the Sixers don't have anyone. So there are definitely at least 60% of the presidents in the NBA. The other 40% are still free agents, and either that or they retired. Regardless of that, though, there is still presidents in the NBA, and we will still simulate that. So, just gonna go through every team, make sure that their lineups are set. I know usually people don't do this, but with new signings and everything, new coaches, You can also see the starting rosters for every team if you wanted to. Contrary to popular belief, I just don't have a favorite team. I follow one player, and whatever team he's on is the team I root for. So currently, I don't know if I'm rooting for the Nets or not, because Kyrie Irving might get traded. Yes, that is my favorite player of all time, Kyrie Irving. He's a big controversy, but he is still good at basketball. Alright, that should be good enough. We're on the pacer. You know what? We'll go to the Nets because Kyrie's here. Simulate this season. See what happens. Not a good start for the Nets here, losing 3 out of their first 5 games. But what can you do when Kyrie is playing home games? Actually, you can't do that. I wish you could do that. I mean, not to do that for Kyrie, but it'd be cool if you could do that for other players. Like, it would make a good video for it. Like, what if all the star players in the NBA, could only play home games? What if all, like, the star players could only play away games? Does it really matter whether they play home or away? Is home court advantage is it really a thing? Something like that. That could make a good video. But fortunately, you can't do that unless you just like force the team to play a 5 or 6 man rotation, and edit the rotations yourself, and put all the bench players in the starting lineup and all the starters on the bench, and just don't play them. But you would have to do that for every other game that is like a home game or an away game, rather than if you just had an injury that said, like, or an injury or reason or something like that, or something along those lines of like, this player can only play home games, or this player can only play away games. I wish this game would also like incorporate text and ejections, because it happens. I mean, heated moments on the court. I I mean, it would be nice to see that. The only thing that you get to see as far as ejections is when people foul out. And honestly, unless you're a center in the NBA or you're aggressive like KD and James Harden, uh, the person defending those people are definitely going to foul, and they're probably going to foul out or get close to it. So we have LaMelo, Victor Wembanyama, Yusuf Nurkic, and John Morant as one-time All-Stars. Oh, and Shea Glitchius Alexander. I know it says Gilgis, but Troy Dan calls him Glitchius Alexander, so that's what I call him too. But that was all-star voting, so let's see. All-star break. Steph Curry is a three-point contest winner. Who would have thought? And Andrew Jackson is still the slam dunk contest winner. So, 2 times in a row, huh? I remember that from the previous video. Contract extension deadline. Sure, why not? We'll check the Nets. Who they want? They want Joe Harris and they want Blake Griffin. I don't know why they want them, but they want them. Why is Zach LaVine here? What? When did Zach LaVine get to the Nets? KD, Kyrie, James Harden, and Zach LaVine. So they basically have the a good roster. Like they have what they would have wanted in real life with KD, Kyrie, and James Harden. But instead of getting Ben Simmons, they got Zach LaVine, somebody who is just as good as Ben Simmons, but better because he can shoot. But man, I don't know. We'll stop simulating right here. Go to award races. So it's Jokic on the Pacers. Luka, Victor Wembanyama, Zion, and DeAndre Ayton. Chet is gonna win Rookie of the Year. Chester is gonna be sixth man. Either that or Ben Simmons. No way, we were just talking about you, bud. Look at that. He shot 0% from the 3-point line. Then there's Linden and Grover here for sixth man. DPOY, Jonathan Isaac. That's all he could do. And then whoever Anthony Black is, I don't know who he is. He's just an auto-generated guy. But the only president here is William H. Harrison for the Bulls for MIP. I mean, as far as most improved goes, other than shooting better, other than the free throw line, and getting, I guess, more points and assists, I mean, he kind of just played his own kind of game. He didn't really improve there, I say. But whatever. The Bulls are the number one in the East, with William H. Harrison. Then it's the Knicks with Trae Young, and Lyndon Johnson. The Heat with Julius Randle and James K. Polk. The Pacers with Shea and Jokic, and Andrew Jackson. The Sixers, who have their regular roster with Duncan Robinson, are the 5th seed. The 6th seed is LaMelo Baba Miller playing small forward. They have Brandon Clark, and they have Abe Lincoln. The Hawks as your 7th seed with Onyeka playing power forward. Woodrow Wilson still here, and Mitchell Robinson. Now, one of the things I did want to check is, did I turn off CPU trades? Yes, I did. So we're gonna turn those back on. I don't know why I turned those off, but I want to see if teams will trade their presidents. The Pistons with George H.W. Bush and Victor Wembanyama are the 8th seed. And then James Madison with this stacked Nets team are not even in the playoffs. The Mavericks are the first seed in the West, with Calvin Coolidge. I guess he signed here. The Pelicans with Andrew Johnson, and the Spurs with Chester Arthur. The Suns with Grover. The Grizzlies, who have nobody. the Warriors with Donald Trump and Joe Biden, and the Rockets with Taft, Grant, and Obama, and then the Jazz with Nixon, and that is so far what your playoffs are looking like. Obviously, we're gonna simulate to the second to last day in the season. Look over statistics, and then get into the playoffs, see what happens, and hopefully we can see what goes on from there. I did want to check league history, um, not MVPs, past champions. So we had the Bucks. That was already there. So we've done 2 seasons so far. Because Andrew Johnson is the first president to have a ring. Because he was on the Pelicans. And then nobody was on the Sixers at the time. So, yeah. I mean, in this universe, Ben Simmons and Joel Embiid are one-time NBA champions. Do I think that would ever happen if Ben Simmons was still in the Sixers? No. I don't think Ben Simmons should even be playing point guard, but that's not my decision. Jokic, Chet, Lyndon Johnson for 6-man, or Chester, John Isaac for DPOY, and Anthony Black here for MIP. I don't remember who it was. It was William H. Harrison that was here for MIP for the Bulls. I think he fell off. But Ronald Reagan is here for 5th-man. Shooting 26% from the 3-point line. But what can you say? I mean, then the playoff picture, I think, the Nets and the Magic are in the playing game in the East, and in the West it'll be the Rockets and the Jazz. And then league leaders, we have Zion, Luka, Donovan, Jokic, and Victor for points. Rebounds is Drummond, Ayton, Nurkic, Allen, and Capella. Assists is Morant, Doncic, Smith Jr., Young, and Nixon. Steals is Jimmy Butler. Blocks is Victor Wembanyama. Turnovers is Kawhi Leonard. Field goal percentage is Zion, but for a non-big man, it is Thomas Jefferson. For 3-point, it's going to be Mikal Bridges, and then Bill Clinton right here at number 2. And then free throw will be George H.W. Bush. Double doubles will be DeAndre Ayton, and triple doubles will be Luka. It's usually Jokic, but this time it's Luka. And then transaction history. Did anybody get traded? Apparently Chauncey Billups got fired. Other than that, it doesn't look like anybody was traded. That's because I turned it back on after the trade deadline. Okay. Jokic, Chet, Chester, Jonathan Isaac, and Anthony Black with Willie Green Coach of the Year. Luka, Jaws, Giannis, Anthony Davis, and Jokic, Trey, Zion, and no one cares. No one is on any All-NBA team. Martin Van Buren is All-Defensive First Team. He averaged 13, 10, and 1. Steal and a block a game. He is Ben Simmons because he hasn't shot a 3. But 61 from the field and 84 from the free throw line is really good. He just needs to, score a little bit more. Because compared to his rookie season, I mean, he's dropped off in the points department. All defensive second team, we have Thomas Jefferson, who averaged 13, 7, and 2, with about a steal and 2 blocks per game, shooting 63, 40, and 80%. John Adams with 9, 4, and 2, with 1 steal per game, shooting 43, 35, and 68%. And then, yeah, I don't think there can't be any all rookies because they're not rookies anymore. The Timberwolves are out, the Magic, the Jazz, and the Pistons. So we have the Dallas Mavericks with Calvin Coolidge versus the Rockets with Taft, Grant, and Obama. Grover, Cleveland, and the Suns versus Chester and the Spurs. Let's see, the Grizzlies versus Joe Biden and Donald Trump. Andrew Johnson versus George W. Bush. The Knicks with Lyndon and Benjamin. Harrison versus Woodrow Wilson and the Hawks. The Sixers with the Sixers versus James K. Polk on the Heat. The Pacers with George Washington and Andrew Jackson versus the Hornets with Abe Lincoln. And then the Bulls with William H. Harrison versus James Madison. The Hornets are out of here. They have been 4-0 swept. The Rockets are out. They have been 4-0 swept. The Sixers are out. The Suns are out. The Knicks are out. The Nuggets are out. And the Warriors are out. The Bulls are out. Alright, so we have the Mavericks versus the Spurs, the Pelicans versus the Grizzlies, the Heat versus the Hawks, and the Pacers versus the Nets. The Heat are out. The Spurs are out. The Grizzlies are out. And the Nets are out. So it's Dallas with Calvin Coolidge versus Andrew Johnson with the Pelicans. The Pacers with Andrew Jackson and George Washington versus Woodrow Wilson and the Hawks. It is the 3 versus 8 seed and the 1 versus 2 seed. The Pacers are out, and the Pelicans or the Mavericks are out. So it is the 2 seed versus the 8 seed. We have Andrew Johnson versus Woodrow Wilson. And the 8-seeded Hawks win the NBA Finals, with Oscar Thompson being their Finals MVP, and we have Woodrow Wilson being our second president with a ring. It doesn't look like there was any other presidents on his team, so just like Andrew Johnson, he said he wants all the spotlight for himself. LeBron finally retires after being in the NBA. LeBron is a 4-time MVP, 4-time NBA champion, 20-time All-Star, and you can read the rest. I mean, cool, I guess. I'm not a LeBron James dick rider. I don't really care too much about LeBron James. Chris Paul, in the game, he's probably not going to make Hall of Fame. LaMarcus Aldridge, did he win he didn't win any championships. No, he entered the Spurs dynasty too late. Lou Will, DeAndre Jordan, Al Horford, a bunch of these old guys. But yeah, staff retirements and Hall of Fame. Oh, well, Chris Paul's in here anyways. Cool. Alright, so I think now is the season where all of these presidents are free agents if they didn't already sign a contract extension during the season. Granted, I don't control any of that, but we still have Thomas Jefferson here. We have James Buchanan, Franklin, Woodrow. We have Teddy Roosevelt, Calvin Coolidge, George W. Bush. Um, James K is still here, so that's alright. Devin Booker has the Suns and the Raptors, and LaMelo has the Bulls and the Hornets. And then Anthony Edwards is restricted. Jaylen Brown, Celtics, Pistons, and Lakers. They want Jaylen Brown to replace LeBron James. We have Tyler Singletary here, whoever you are, for the Thunder. James Wiseman, either to the Timberwolves or the Warriors. And then James K. Polk, he was on Miami, so he's got restricted free agency or the Heat. Other than that, yeah, we're good. So we'll just player progression, see what happens, where everyone signs to, and then we'll do a couple more seasons. So we're at day 11. Devin Booker went to the Raptors, LaMelo to the Hornets, Zach LaVine to the Suns, Anthony Edwards to the Pistons, Julius Randle to the Suns, Towns to the Timberwolves, Brown back to the Celtics. RJ Barrett is going to be the LeBron James replacement on the Lakers. Polk is going to the Heat. Harrison to the Bulls. Buchanan to the Pistons. And that looks like it. So we'll start our new season in the NBA in 2024, our 2024-2025 season. And as much as I want to keep loading in draft classes, we're just going to auto-generate them and move on with it. So, best players in the league right now, if we go all the way over here to all players, if the game would stop lagging. Luka and Steph. So Luka is the #1 highest rated player right now at 97. He's 25 years old, so he's basically a god. Steph Curry at a 96, Giannis at a 95, Embiid, Jokic, Zion. Now we got Ja, Trey, Anthony Davis, KD, Kyrie, Tatum, Donovan, Devin Booker, Shea, DeAndre Ayton, Dame, and that's where it stops at 90s. So let's see what happens in this simulation, and then I'll check back in a little bit. So I tried to turn the music on to give a little bit of some noise, that way it's not just completely silent, and you're watching just a ticker go across the screen. But I couldn't find. I know I turned off all the music in the game, because I'm not gonna lie, I don't listen to that kind of music. I mean, maybe like a few of the songs on the 2K soundtrack, but um, maybe not even the songs themselves, but the artists. Um, but yeah, I turn them off, and to do that, I have to go back to the home screen. So, we'll continue with our career simulation and see what happens. And I think after this season, I'm going to call it a wraps for the video. Um, I will put out a part. Maybe I'll put out a part 3. Maybe this will be the end. We'll see what happens as far as the playoffs go. Because I want to end it on a president winning a ring. So if a president doesn't win a ring, then next video will be hopefully trying to get a president a ring, or I mean at least hopefully the game gives the president a ring. I'm not going to mess with any teams or sign any players to anybody. Yeah. So the first player to get a ring was Andrew Johnson on the Pelicans, and then the second one was Woodrow Wilson on the Hawks as the 8th seed too, which is very surprising. Not many 8 seed teams win the NBA Finals, especially against Zion and the Pelicans. I'm just surprised that this simulation isn't overrun by Cade Cunningham and Luka, because usually with 2K simulations, Luka absolutely snaps, and so does Cade Cunningham. So to see that the boom or bust system in the game actually works for once in a while is nice to see, because it'd suck to see, you know, a career simulation video where the limelight is hogged by two players that aren't even supposed to be focused, like Luka and Cade Cunningham. The Nets are so down bad. Jesus Christ. You have Kyrie, KD, James Harden, and Zach LaVine, and you can't win. You can't even stay at a positive 500 record. Jesus. All-star teams. Alright, so Victor Wembanyama, James Wiseman's here. John Morant, LaMelo. Looks like your average, what you would expect at this point without LeBron in the league. Kind of all-star votings. We're gonna check the transaction report, see about trades, see if any of our presidents were traded. Looks like Christian Wood was traded to the Timberwolves. Terry Rozier is now on the Raptors. Blake Griffin is on the Jazz. Oh, right here we got one. Harry S. Truman is now on the Grizzlies. Russell Westbrook was traded to the Spurs for DeMar DeRozan. So Westbrook on the Spurs, and then you have, no, where is that trade at? And then you have DeMar on the Wizards, right? Yep, DeMar DeRozan. He's a 76 overall these days, but he still averages 2 points. I mean, he probably played one game and scored one basket, but he's averaging 2 points. Celtics signed Klay Thompson. Okay. We'll go to, this is contract extension day. I don't know where trade deadline day is, but it'll pop up. Oh, Harry S. Truman, oh, right here. Harry S. Truman was the only president to be traded so far, yeah. Because these are the only 2 other trades that happened. Jordan Poole was traded for Jeremy Grant, and Tristan Thompson and Batum were traded for Taurean Prince and Raul Neto. Basically trading old men for 2 other old men, so I'm assuming these were just salary flips. Because I don't know why you would do that kind of trade. See, we're at contract extension day. Excuse me. I don't mean to yawn in your ear. Or through your speakers. No, not training schedule. No one ever uses that feature. Why would we ever use that feature? There are a bunch of features in this game that are useless. They serve no purpose. The idea and the concept of it is okay, I guess, at best, but the execution of the way they put it in the game is horrible, and it is overlooked. In fact, some people don't even look for it, because why would you? You know, like, this whole training tab here, no one uses this. No one uses this. Player mentorship, no one uses this. James Madison has 2 Hall of Fame badges? What? Acrobat and off-ball pass, okay. Once again, the Nets are probably either in the play-in game or they are out of the playoffs because they cannot keep a 500 record. Even with a God squad in quotation marks. Yeah, they're kicked out of the play-in game. They're not even in the playoffs. That really sucks. For them at least. Like I said, there's no other trades going on. The award race, it's going to be Victor Wembanyama for MVP. For 6-man, it's going to be Abe Lincoln. Giannis will be DPOY. And then Killian Hayes will be most improved. For playoff teams, we have the Magic, the Hawks, the Pistons, the Hornets, the Bulls, Sixers, Raptors, Knicks, and Bucks are all in the either their respective seeds or playing game. The 1 through 8 seed in the West is Mavericks, Pelicans, Suns, Rockets, Hornets, Warriors, not Hornets, Thunder, Jazz, and the Spurs, and in the play-in is the Nuggets and the Lakers. Um, Obviously, Luka snapped off. He's popping off. Porzingis, you know, without any injuries, Porzingis is actually pretty nice. And then league leaders, we have Zion, Luka, Giannis, Ryan Rupert, and Jokic. Rebounds, we have Martin Van Buren, 5'6" point guard, who grabbed 13 rebounds over all these other guys. That's 2K for you. Martin Van Buren, Capella, Ayton, Embiid, and Drummond for rebounds. Assists with Killian Hayes, Luka, Ja, Anthony Black, and Amen Thompson. Steals was Lonzo. Blocks was Victor Wembanyama. Turnovers was Amen Thompson. Field goal was Zion. For a non-center, it was Ben Simmons. 3-point was George W. Bush. And free throw was George H.W. Bush. Double doubles was Embiid. Triple doubles was Luka. And that's all that she wrote. Let's go to the playoffs, see what happens. So Luka's MVP. He stole it from Victor Wembanyama. Abe Lincoln is 6-man. Giannis is DPOY, and Killian Hayes is MIP, with Bill Bano being Coach of the Year. Do we have any presidents on any All-NBA team? It looks like we do not. John Adams is here on All-Defensive First Team. He averaged 10, 4, and 3 with 1.5 steals a game. Shooting 46, 40, and 74% from the field. All-NBA second, all-defensive second team is Martin Van Buren, who averaged 17, 13, and 1 with 1 steal and 1 block a game, shooting 61 and 75%. And then we also, nope, that's all for that. So we'll simulate the play-ins. Lakers are out, Nets, Nuggets, and the Knicks. So we have the Mavericks versus the Jazz, the Rockets versus the Warriors, the Suns versus the Thunder, the Pelicans versus the Spurs, the Magic versus the Bucks, the Hornets versus the Bulls, Pistons versus the Sixers, and the Hawks versus the Raptors. We'll go to conference championships, and then we'll see if any presidents are in the contention for the finals. But the Hawks are out, the Bucks, the Spurs, the Suns, the Warriors. Alright, so we have Dallas versus the Rockets, we have Pelicans versus OKC, we have Orlando versus Charlotte, and Detroit versus Toronto. The Thunder are 4-0 swept, the Raptors are out, the Rockets are out, and the Hornets are out. So we have the 1 versus 3 seed in the East, in the East, and then we have the 1 versus 2 seed in the West. So we have the Dallas Mavericks with Luka, and then we have Andrew Johnson and the Pelicans. And then we have Martin Van Buren on the Magic and George H.W. Bush on the Pistons in the East. So the Magic are out, and so are the Pelicans. So it is Luka versus George H.W. Bush. Victor Wembanyama is Finals MVP, but George H.W. Bush is our new... Oh, he was not the only one. So George H.W. Bush has a ring, And so does James Buchanan. So we got 2 new presidents with rings. So we'll stop right there for our presidents. Derrick Rose retired with the Cavaliers. That's nice. He's not even in the Hall of Fame. Oh my god, you haters. Anyways, we'll stop right there. Hope you guys enjoyed. Drop a like drop a like if you guys enjoyed. And I'll catch you guys in the next episode. Peace.